We are following breaking news. The Arizona Supreme Court has upheld the state's near total abortion ban. There is a law in the books that's dating back to 1864, which criminalizes all abortions except in cases where the mother's life is in danger. What that means is there is no exception for rape or incest, as there is in other cases in other states. Let's bring in Scott Fredericksen for more on this ruling. He's a former federal prosecutor and the partner at the firm of Foley and Lardner LLP. Thank you so much for joining us so quickly as we break this news. Can you discuss how the state of Arizona and the state Supreme Court came to this decision?
Well, it was an unusual process. This was a law that was enacted before Arizona was even a state back in 1864. After Roe v. Wade, everyone considered this law buried and dead, essentially. But when Roe v. Wade was overruled by the Supreme Court of the United States, a former Republican attorney general went to the court and asked them to reinstate this law. That case worked its way up to the Arizona Supreme Court. And as we now know, the Arizona Supreme Court said that this 1864 law, which provides no exceptions for rape or incest, is now and will be effective in 14 days and can result in criminal prosecutions.
So let's talk about what that means. Is there any other avenue to stop the ban? Do you foresee any other court intervening? Of course, if it's the Supreme Court ruling, but I'm imagining that given some decisions made by the governor of the state in the past and the amount of support that abortion rights have, not just in the state, but across other states, do you see this actually being implemented in 14 days, or how do you foresee this panning out?
I think we should expect it will be enforced in 14 days. The Arizona Supreme Court is the final word on Arizona state law. The Supreme Court of the United States will have little or no basis, let alone interest in taking this on. And under the Dobbs decision, this Arizona 1864 law enforcing a complete ban would stand muster under the present law set forth by the Supreme Court of the United States. So we should expect it's going to go into law and be enforceable. The one thing that might change that is that there is a petition to put essentially an initiative on the ballot in November to change the law in the state of Arizona. And that, of course, gets into what will be, quite a political earthquake there in Arizona and in the country.
That's so interesting. I mean, we just gave the news about what happened in Florida, and that Florida is also having voters decide on abortion. And in the meantime, they have that 6-week abortion ban that's going to be implemented in the next few weeks. So the Attorney General said that people won't be prosecuted under the ban. Does that make any difference? I mean, what's the point then of saying that, or what's the point of the ban if nobody's going to actually be prosecuted?
Well, I think you really have to question that kind of statement. The Attorney General doesn't make the law. He enforces the law. But that doesn't mean that a local DA, a county DA in someplace in Arizona, can't decide to enforce and criminally prosecute this law. The Supreme Court of Arizona has said this is the law now. So an Attorney General is saying, well, we're not going to enforce it, probably doesn't carry the kind of weight that anyone can rely on. That may be the case, but he does not control the county district attorneys, who are the usual enforcement mechanisms for criminal laws in states.
What would you say is the precedent, if any, that this state or sets for other states? Are other states even affected, or are we just kind of, as the Supreme Court decided, it's going to be on state-by-state basis? Is this similar to any other state?
It's similar to Florida. Florida also had a similar situation like that. And we've seen it in a couple other states. This won't be precedent for any state other than Arizona, but it can be persuasive for other, state courts who look to see what other states have done. So while not precedent, it certainly could be persuasive. Now we have something like 14 states with near complete bans. And so it has that kind of, gravitas as well.
And a couple of states there that are taking it to the ballot, which might serve Democrats in the election in November. Scott Fredericksen, thank you so much.
My pleasure.